Now this recipe I really wanted to show new vegans because usually everyone goes to the shop and they buy beans and lentils and things like that, and then they think, oh, you have to pre-think and anticipate and plan to cook all these things. But this time I want you to keep your eye out at second-hand shops or department stores and go and buy yourself a good pressure cooker, because if you've got a pressure cooker you can speed all the process up. You can see that this is just dried garbanzos or chickpeas. High in protein, high in nearly everything but the A's and the C, vitamin A and vitamin C, and the B12s. But everything else, protein, your iron, magnesium, potassium, all those types of things. So I've just taken the chickpeas straight dried, put them in your pressure cooker like that, 1 cup. 1 cup of chickpeas in your pressure cooker, and I've got a litre of water there. Put the lid on, take your lid. Now I've got a couple of different types of pressure cooker. This one is an Asian one. Make sure your valve is up. If you bought your pressure cooker in a second-hand shop and don't know how to use it, you have to make sure that you're sealing off the air. So this is the valve is up, and this one here is the it has the hole that lets the steam out, and that creates the pressure in it. Now I put that straight onto high on the stove. So I'll just put that straight onto high. Now if this is a pressure cooker that you've bought, this one you turn to the side and then it goes in. This is a more traditional one. It's the type my mum had as a kid, and then they went out of fashion and microwaves came in. And then that just seals up. This is sealed here, and you've got this type of valve that lets pressure out. Now you will leave whichever pressure cooker you use, leave it on the stove till it starts whistling. When you see the valve moving and it starts whistling, turn it off and leave it. That's enough time for your chickpeas to cook. So while that's cooking, then you start doing your frying of your vegetables that we're doing here now. Now we're going to make the chickpea sort of like a stew or a broth or a gravy that will go with our artichokes. First thing, whenever you see me cooking, is to put a little bit of oil in the frying pan, which I have on over here. This is the extra virgin olive oil, and then I've got, it was 1 white onion, 1 big white onion, just and then I will put in my red onion too. I actually use the red onion because it gives a nice colour, but it must have those antioxidants in there that the red things of like red cabbage and beetroot has. I haven't looked into it, but so I put a fair bit of onion goes into most of my cooking. It's very good for your heart and lowering all that type of thing. So in goes the onion first, and I like to take the rawness off it first. Cut bigger saucepan, because when the chickpeas are finished, I will want to put them in this big pot, and I can even serve it in this big pot if you want. So if I should have started here in the first place. Put your onions in this big pot first, and then as they get brown. Now again, like when I'm making pies or empanadas or anything, what you put into your, what you prefer to put in, like maybe you like to put in some capsicum. Some people don't like capsicum. Some people like mushrooms. So I always put onion, celery, so good for your bones and calcium. If you have osteoporosis, you should be eating plenty of celery. Now this is sweet potato. Again, this is a good thing for middle-aged women, the sweet potato. And then I've got, all these are high in your minerals. Usually the only one lacking is the vitamin C, which is destroyed in cooking anyway. This is pumpkin. This is a Jap pumpkin. You can see I've just shredded that with the skin and all, because it all cooks down, full of nutrients. about vegetarian cooking that I do, it's guilt-free. You don't have to worry about getting fat or... Now this one's the carrot. So you're really making quality food for your family, or even just for yourself or your friends, those you love. Put your carrots in. I've got the carrot. Now this is potato. I never cook without potato. I think it must be the Irish. So you can see the potato. It's going in as well. Now this is all going to get sauteed a bit with that little bit of olive oil. I like to mix it all around. It all gets a little bit sauteed. And then I put the lid on it. So I'm giving this a bit of a stir. I don't want it to burn. Once you put your water and your chickpeas in, you don't have to be so vigilant. But I've got it on quite a high heat here, just to get it sauteed. I have to add my garlic, which I've added there. That was just two. Now, everybody seems to end up growing these funny looking yellow zucchinis, or everyone knows someone who does. This is a time where you can cook them. Put those yellow zucchinis in if you want. And vegetables. I've got a green one. It's a little bit lacking in green, this one, but I'm not going to add the peas. If I had beans, I probably would add beans to it. And just mix that round. Now we haven't got any salts or flavours in yet, so that's our next step. Once we've got it sauteed a bit, we want to add some herbs, what you like, whatever flavours you like, because I always like oregano and marjoram and right, you hear it starting to get a bit of a pressure up like a train. I'd rather let it go a little bit longer than a little bit less, because they won't cook so well if you don't let that pressure. So I'm putting a little bit of, I think, marjoram in, a teaspoon of oregano, and a teaspoon of parsley. And you like to add those herbs while you've got the oil. Just get the flavours out. Trans fats, gluten-free, lactose-free, no animal content. So it's chicken-like flavouring, not chicken, but it's chicken-like. And I put a big spoonful of it in. Remember, vegetarian food needs to be tasty. Just because you're vegetarian doesn't mean you have lost your taste buds. Probably quite the reverse. Our taste buds are more acute because they're not being deadened by all those fats and spices and peppers that they put on their meat to give it flavour. I will leave that cook on low while the pressure cooker is going down in pressure, until such a time as I can open the pressure cooker and then put that in there, which is about 5 minutes. If you're in a hurry, you can pull the valve down and release the pressure, but I want them to, because they've come from the raw state and the only cooking or soaking has been done in this last 5 minutes, I want to leave the chickpeas there as long as possible before I put them in with the vegetables. Here, maybe I should have done 2 cups because it's not going to have many chickpeas in it, but a lot of people don't like it. Out now, and put it aside because not everybody wants their pureed, but everyone else does. So I just put a bit to the side, and then the rest of it, I've got that oven turned off, and simply take your stick up without and then just mix it in again. Okay, so that's absolutely delicious now. You won't get that much better than that as far as vegetarian stews and things go. So you can serve that on the table, or you serve it individually into the plates. One bowl with puree, and then just garnish it with a bit of parsley. And you can put some black olives on top, or if you had red capsicums, put some red capsicums.